That was my favorite discovery the other day.
Oh, what
Was
was that?
your little all the different little animations that you have for the human stack. It's
Can
like
we
my
just
favorite
say
thing.
we've got to give Giancarlo a shout out for that animation? Like he and I went back
For
and forth
so
on
much.
that.
Let's be clear. Giancarlo
I
deserves
know.
shout outs for so many things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I will take credit for finding the song because I really love that song. It's so
It's
like,
catchy.
yeah, it is catchy. Yeah, it'll earworm you all day. Hey, good morning.
Earworm.
Hi. Yeah.
That's a fun one. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. We missed you last week. I don't know if you caught it, but I threw massive shade your way for
Oh, good.
ditching me on Canvas Day.
Totally deserved. And also, I feel like at the end of the day, you got an upgrade because Dan Kershaw
So
just
good.
nailed it. Yeah, absolutely. Stepped in. He's like the boss of all things AI. Like
I
when it comes to
honestly,
practically just using it, he's just like there doing it. I love it.
and like Dan breaks so many like stereotypes that I have in my brain about like who wouldn't be like first to it. I mean, the dude runs a furniture mission in Canada
Yeah.
and is, no offense, Dan, and to anybody Dan's age, but he's older, like in my world. And I'm just like, it's wild that I'm like every day this man continues to teach me how to be like Gen Z, Gen Alpha nimble. And it's wild. Like I don't know if I said it in the stream last week, but I literally called him because I mean you and I found out that morning that you weren't
Right.
able to do it.
Yeah. Right.
And I was like, all right, Dan, I don't like Canvas. So I give me like how you use it at least. And he's like, well, I could probably just join. And we just like did it, which is also such a great like underscore of like why we do this
Absolutely.
exact live because
Right.
we're learning and growing. Because for those of you that don't know, I texted Tim right afterward and I was like, joke's on me. I'm only ever going to use Gemini's Canvas from here on out. Like
Right.
I loved it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Also, they did a major upgrade like
Yeah.
between when you and I saw it last and then that day. So it is I would say 10x better than it was before.
Oh, it was
Um
so cool.
but that to your point, Dan is that way and I'm just going to like throw props at him. The first conversation we had was a half-hour call. I had something right after that for like 15 minutes and then we got on the phone for another like 2 hours because the man is so interesting, right?
Yes.
And one of the core conversations we were having is how curiosity is a function of privilege that there. And he
Ooh,
was completely into that conversation and then recently posted something about that. So yeah,
of
my
course he
first
did.
interaction with Dan is that he is a legend and pretty unassuming, right? Like he
Yeah.
started. I was like, "Who's this furniture guy?" Following me on LinkedIn, and yeah, and now I am slacking and in conversation with him almost every day
Oh my
because
gosh.
it's just great. Yeah.
He
So Dan, thank
commented.
you so much. Thank you
And I said
so
no
so
offense for being
much.
old.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, all the love,
Yeah, that's
Dan.
awesome.
Oh
Yes.
man.
Yes.
I'm gonna
That's
frame that.
perfect. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that is great. That is great.
Well, what he doesn't know is I'm gonna ask him to jump in next week for deep research. So
Well, now he knows it. I'm glad to hear that because deep research is an area that he has that oh
oh,
my
he
gosh,
is
so many of the things. Yeah.
yes.
Okay, I am just excited about Gemini in general
Mm-hmm.
because I keep finding out more and more benefits of this. In the first one being any nonprofit, if you're in Google, if you're in Google, somebody just has to go to your admin page and turn it on for free
Mm-hmm.
and it will work. Almost all of the tools that we're showing you so far are out of the box, no charge tools. There's two levels to Gemini. There's advanced and there is like basic.
Mm-hmm.
And like the stuff we're showing you is the basic version. This is what is available to all nonprofits for free right now. This should be your base model. This is
Yes.
the enablement like base level of AI that you should just be using because it's in your team. You're already paying for it. It's already in
Mm-hmm.
there. So anyway, I had a long conversation with Jennifer, who is the who just knows everything about Gemini. And so, yeah. So whoever at Google, whoever is making the decisions about that and the 75% off, please keep throwing love at nonprofits.
Yes.
They really need it right now. And Gemini is one of the easiest ways for them to access it.
And it's quiet. Like one thing Dan and I talked about when we got off the Zoom or the stream last week was like I was building out sort of the rest of our season with Gemini. And the things that Gemini can do that I know. I'm like, we literally not scratched this. We're just teaching people essentially the equivalents of like Chat GPT and Gemini right now. Like we haven't even scratched the surface as to how much more advanced and accessible some of this stuff is. So I'm just pumped. We can talk about it forever, obviously.
Yes. And we will.
Today, I want to talk about gems and what a gem is and how it works in the Gemini infrastructure. And then at the end, Tim, I'm going to actually have you create a gem that the users who are sort of like listening along with us, they could actually build it with us. Like I'll put the prompt in the chat and everything so people could literally build it right along with us. But gems are what we understand like a GPT in OpenAI's Chat GPT to be. So like a curated chatbot, essentially, one with specific instructions and specific parameters in which to interact with the end user. So at this point, those are sort of a given with any language learning model. Like if you don't have that, we definitely need it. And so it's one of those that like, let's make sure that we've got that in our infrastructure, right? And so Google had, what I really like about Google though, is like, I was actually exploring some of their pre-curated gems because I wanted to see, I mean, we're doing AI4Anyone live, right? Like this is for the people who maybe don't feel comfortable making their own gem. And yes, at the end of this, we're going to talk people how to make their own, but you don't always have to like make something. Like there are things that exist out there that with the right prompt, you can use exactly what it's there for. Like why reinvent the wheel? If there's a copy creator, which is the first one I'm going to talk to us about, let's just double down on the fact that they've already nailed that science and let's train it on who we are, what we know, what we do. And so before I move on, did I miss anything as far as like how to explain what a gem is? Sometimes I think you do a better job, Tim, of like explaining that sort of infrastructure in layperson's terms. I kind of go all over the place.
Yeah, no, a gem is just, think of it as like a template for a prompt that you, for something that you do all the time, right? So
that's a really good way to think of it. Yep.
Yeah, there's kind of two things that you're going to find in all language models. There's going to be like a project, and then there's going to be like a template. And a project is where you want to store stuff for an ongoing use. That's Notebook LM. That is projects in both Claude and ChatGPT, Notebook and Gemini. That's where you want to throw in new stuff all the time, and that's the project side. The template side is where you've got one thing you got to do like every week. Like maybe you got to send an email out every week. It's pretty much like similar content. And so if you could just have the right prompt every week, you could go in, you could just give it the new idea and it would put out for you a well-crafted, well thought through, like formatted email that is just exactly what you're looking for every week. And so a gem is the template side in ChatGPT world. That is a custom GPT. It allows you to add kind of 3 areas to it, so that you can give it context, you can give it content, and then you give it a prompt every week. And the prompt is a new thing that you do every week. That's kind of the easiest way I think to understand it. So it's a template.
No, that's really helpful. Kind of like that recurring prompt. It's sort of like that start of a workflow that people think of when they think of like what a workflow would be, something that you're doing often. There's got to be a way to automate it. I feel like that's what we hear a lot these days. This is sort of like that first step.
Yeah. So one that I usually create when I'm working with a client so that they can just kind of see this is I just take their brand colors and we'll put those in. And then we'll create custom instructions for it to be a stylized image maker, right? So
I was really good at that.
Well, there's a secret to it, which to make anything look similar, you have to just give it a style. And I always just go like WPA style. WPA is like the 1930s, 1920s kind of national park poster style. And everything looks good if you just give it the right colors and you tell it to make a WPA style poster of an image and tell it what the image is, it will look good. And so, I mean, it's not that I'm a good artist, it's that I'm like, oh, I like that style, and I tried it and it works. So yeah, which is a lot of what you're doing here, right? You're like finding like, okay, how do you find the creative piece that you want to add? So that's what I usually make.
Just what are your preferences,
right, yeah.
basically.
So,
yeah. Just to give the quick sort of like formal definition here from Google, gems are pre-built or custom-made AI helpers inside the Google Gemini app. Each gem, especially the ones that they pre-curate, are trained to do a specific role or task, kind of like Tim was talking about. So Google's got a nice little note here, like think of them as mini AIs that you can name, train, and then reuse across your organization. I think that across the organization is something we haven't touched on, but that's kind of the huge.
Okay, that is something I'm confused. That is something I'm curious about, is whether or not you can share them across your organization. So I'm looking forward to seeing if that's possible. But before we go on,
well, you're demoing, I might be researching.
Well, yeah, no, that's fine. That's what we're here for, right? It's not like we know everything. We're here to explore, and you guys can watch us stumble around and figure it out in real time, because that's what you do with AI. You wander around figuring it out. So if anybody watching has created a gem or custom GPT that you want to tell us about, throw it in the chats. We would love to hear, how are you doing this? What are you using? How are you using gems or custom GPTs? So yeah, throw those in. All right. And then, yeah, if you want to, at the end, I guess I'm going to get put on the spot. I'm going to build a gem. So tell me what to build. Like, we'll do it. All right. All right, cool. So show us a gem. What you got for us?
Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go over a couple of the ones that Google has pre-made, like I said, and then I'll do a quick sort of like speed round of like showing you all of the ones they have made and sort of different use cases I can see for them. But I wanted to go over a few that I found really useful for those of us in this space. And so before I move on to, I want to show you where to find gems. Hit share, make sure I'm sharing the right
case. Just the name alone, I feel like I already know what it is, but you not be surprised to call you back in here at some point and ask you to show us what it is. So yeah.
We're just gonna pop Dan at the end of this.
We're just gonna like every week, right? Welcome, Dan. All right, cool. Website grader. If anybody else has more, let us know. That's awesome. We'll be watching the comments for it. Dan, thanks.
Okay, I'm shrinking us really quickly. So as you can see, it says advanced, but the 2.0 Flash and these gems are available without the advanced. It's advanced because the human stack, we have the Gemini advanced infrastructure, but all you have to do is be logged into Google and you have access to these gems. So when you're in just gemini.google.com, over here are the gems, right? And so these are pre-curated ones. I have not created these. And if you want to know where to find them, like if you don't see this bit, you actually just hit Gem Manager, and that's where we're going to find all of this. So these are the ones that show pre-made by Google. So I'm going to start first here with this content, not coding partner, copy creator. So I'm going to move us over to this guy, and I actually put it. So if you scan that QR code, it'll literally just take you right to the copy creator.
We're always putting these up.
Yeah, tell me if it works. I'm sure, because it was doing this.
I'm sure that it works. Let's see.
It doesn't. The next 3 scenes are going to look really different.
It's too far away. My screen's too small. Yeah.
You do have some wild screen setup. Someday we'll just have to do a walkthrough.
We will. That'll be fun. Oh, I found it. Okay. I zoomed it in and then I found it. And no, it's going to some site in Salt Lake City. No, I'm just joking. It works great. All right.
Stop. Golly. I'm like, it's one thing if it doesn't work. It's another if it goes to this weird spam site.
No, it's great.
I'm not doing it.
I know,
anymore.
exactly.
You're over you.
I know.
Ridiculous.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it works great.
Okay, so to talk us through this one really quickly, this one's probably the one that people are most used to using their average LLM for, right? Creating copy in their voice. So looking at the instructions or what is sort of behind the scenes in the copy creator.
Do you want me to share my screen and show that, or are you? Okay,
I can share it too. Cool. It's kind of anything in between here. So I'm going to show you what sort of the back end of this guy looks like. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Well, if I'm not, I can move it back over. Do you see Gem Manager or copy of Copy Creator?
I think I see, I don't know what I see. It's too small.
Oh, it's copy of Copy Creator. I see
Okay, good.
it. Okay, so when you're looking at these gems, you can actually duplicate them. So if you wanted to, like, if you like the Copy Creator, but you want to adjust here or there, that's what I love about this is you can literally just hit the 3 buttons, or if you're on the Gem Manager, you just hit make a copy, right? So what the secret sauce here though is like it shows you what the instructions they use to make it. So it's giving you how their tool, right? Because Google created this. So this is going to be optimized to their infrastructure, their AI, their algorithm. And it's saying, hey, this is the best way to get this type of output. But if you wanted to adjust this, so it's not just writing copy, maybe you wanted to go in and adjust and say this is specific to social media. You'd go in here, and so you'd say you're a seasoned copywriter with years of crafting compelling content. What I would say is you particularly excel. Whatever. Oh no, excel, whatever, in social media marketing for nonprofits. And then one thing you can do is if you don't know or you don't want to spend the time to like, this is what I love about Gemini actually. If you don't want to spend the time to like go back through this, I always copy it just in case. But then you can literally just ask Gemini to rewrite it. So that one little edit can hopefully, it'll rewrite the whole thing for me. And it'll show, okay, so it's got this guy in there and then it's made the updates down here based on social media and nonprofit. So then I want to say, I want to add knowledge about the Impact Me Foundation. Right, so we're gonna pull this guy up because goodness knows I've made so many things about the impact. I wonder if I can load them all. Wouldn't that be nice?
You can actually load quite a bit. Yeah,
but not like, ugh. I'm gonna do. Oh, there we go. You can like hold the. Okay, that helps.
So you can just like load a bunch all at once.
Yes, but you have to hold control and then click.
Okay, good.
So FYI. Yeah. So then, okay, I'm gonna save name. I'm gonna do Impact Me social copy creator, right? So we're gonna hit save. And I didn't put a whole lot in here, right? But if I want to preview it, I want to say, okay, it's National Children's Mental Health Awareness Day. Fun fact, if you didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't.
Help me write a post from Impact Me's social accounts and create a script for our CEO to do a YouTube short. Let's see what comes up with. And then, hello. So this one, that's fun. I love when they talk to you. This is one thing that I really appreciate about Gemini, and Anthropic does this a little bit. ChatGPT is getting a little bit better at this, but it's saying, hey, can you give me a little more? Like, I don't think I have what you need. So what this really does, and the key differentiator for this one is, it's then allowing you to avoid hallucinations in advance. So it's basically saying like, I think I know what you're asking, but since I don't know for sure, or I can't confirm that, I'm going to ask you more of these questions.
Yeah.
Now I could answer this, but we've got 2 other ones that I want to show you guys. And I think Copy Creator is one that's like a pretty clean cut example. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reshare my screen and I'm going to pop right on over into the outreach specialist, which I think is a really unique one. So I'm going to come on over here and I'm even just going to ask the outreach specialist, like, how can I use, I wonder if it'll do this. The outreach.
Oh, you're not in, can you share your screen? I think
yes.
we switched layouts.
Well, what in the world? I was so prepared too. I did so much prep work for this one.
Amazing.
So the outreach specialist, what I love about this one is it'll allow you, now you need to be careful. You don't want to put personally identifiable information in here about your donors. That's one really important note to make. But you can say like, I want to use this to help me better curate invites to our, specific groups for like an event. So maybe you segment your list. And so you're putting your 3 different targets for your list for an event out. And you want to be able to say like, hey, give me a better crafted version of this email for these different targets. And in fact, I don't know that I even need to create my own version of this. So I'm just going to say, we are hosting our annual gala and are inviting 3 groups. Our dignitaries, which will be our lifetime donors over 25K plus board and distinguished alumni. Jeepers, distinguished alumni. And then we have our general public in the, let's say, Omaha, Nebraska community. Sure, why not? And then we have our volunteers who've put in over 10 hours or more this year for our org, which I haven't actually given it any information on our org. So I'll be really interested to see like, what should my strategy be with each, and can you help me develop that approach/plan?
And while you're throwing that out, something to note here is you made a copy of the last one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you make a copy, because it's yours, you can go in and edit it, which means you can add files to it and you can adjust the custom instructions.
Yes.
And in custom instructions, you're going to add 2 things for these kinds, for like anything that's doing writing. You're going to tell it what it is that it's writing and how to write it. And then secondly, you're going to give it a brand voice, like little snippet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting that brand voice snippet is really important so that you can add it to things like this all the time. You can even, by the way, throw that in as a file, put that file into one of the files and tell it to look in the files for your brand voice and then use that brand voice. So it's kind of a cheat code there. All right, cool.
Plus then as you update that brand voice, especially
exactly.
like a Google one,
right,
as you're updating it, it should update along with it, which is a way more nimble way to do it.
Yeah, because then it's dynamic. Such a good point. Such a really good point. But you can only do that if you copy it, right? So a pre-made gem, you can't really copy or manage it, which is what they're basically saying. Copy these and then, give it your own context and content. Cool.
Absolutely.
All right. How'd it do?
I absolutely love this. So what I was worried it would do is basically like a watered down version of Copy Creator, right? But what it actually did was, let me overarchingly identify the strategy, and then let me give you different approaches, right? So personalized invitations, make sure the messaging has exclusivity, highlight the impact because this group is huge on impact, create a VIP experience for this group, make the call to action more subtle because the primary is attendance, but make sure you still have that, like all things that we would teach like 101, you have to make sure you do this for this.
Mm-hmm.
But then I love that because I gave it just 3 completely different groups. Like it wasn't just like donor level 1, donor level 2, donor level 3. It really did tailor it. And that's what's so cool about these ones is it is meant to tailor it to the type of group, the target market you're looking at. So this is saying like, make sure you aren't just sending an email out, like utilize the local media around the Omaha community because that's who you're trying to get here. Why should they come? How can they get tickets? What's the call to action? It is definitely like buy your tickets or get here. And incentivize early action because they know this group is one that needs that incentive. So like just so much brilliant marketing that you don't need to know because it's in here, it's doing it for you. And then same with the volunteers, right? Like I love that it notes offering these things as like, hey, you've donated in a way that we haven't called out financially, or we want to make sure we recognize you personally, give you that gratitude for the work that you've done, show you that we're going to appreciate you at this event, etc. Like, I just love it so much. It's so much fun.
I think
to see.
One thing to note here is that I feel like there's this conversation that happens about should it be a human or should it be AI? And it's just such a wrong question. Like, we don't go around saying should I handwrite this or should I use a computer? Right? Like
Yes.
we're like, no, me plus a computer is a lot more productive, right? And I think
Yes.
as a person with a very leaky attention span, I know I could probably know all of the different elements I have to add to each one of those things, and I would still lose track because it's just too many things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you throw it in a tool like this and you've got it pre-made. You're like, don't forget the call to action, for example. That's really important. Or don't forget you have to tell them what the event is for, right? It's
Yes.
like, right. And so it's not going to miss those cues. And I think that's just such an important shortcut on that.
Yes.
And it doesn't need to be perfect for it to be valuable. I think this
Yes.
is the other thing. Like, okay, maybe it throws some misinformation in there. That's why you got to read it. And that's why it's so important to just know you are in charge. You're flying this, and it's your co-pilot here helping you, not the other way around. And so I just think that that's really important.
That's like assuming everything you Google is going to turn up like accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right. Yep.
You can ask the right question to Google and it'll still pop up whatever the algorithm tells it to pop up.
Could
like,
you
do
one more? Sorry, I just totally interrupted you. It's a bad habit. Could you go back and just add one more prompt in there to that? Mm-hmm. Could you just say, summarize this in a table and put, what do you call the groups? Put the groups in columns. Just say, put the groups in columns. Working with AI really solidified for me what a column is versus what a row is, by the way. Because if you can remember, like, I want to put these in columns, then it'll throw that in. And the value to humans of seeing something in a table instead of just in long text is massive. Like the information disbursement is just so important there, because you can just like glance at it and know kind of what's going on. So yeah.
And let me be clear, I did not think it was going to turn this table out. I tried to make it do tables yesterday and it failed miserably 8 times over.
Really?
And so I was like, Tim is not prepared for the dumpster fire that is going to be this.
Just
kidding. It looks beautiful.
I kind of wish it would have, because I just think it's actually good to fail on these things. Yes. So I'm glad it did it. It's not surprising that it didn't sometimes. I'm just going to say AI is not always consistent. Like, it is moody and a little bit fickle in a way that spreadsheets just aren't. Like, a spreadsheet's just going to go do the work, right?
Yes.
Every single time. AI is sometimes like, I am sorry, I'm just lazy. I swear it just is like, no, I'm not going to do it. It'll be like, yeah, you asked for a list of 10 things. Here's 3. And then, just 7 more that are like this, right? You're like, dude, the work, like, please.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah.
And I literally yell at it sometimes. I'm like, I literally say, do better.
Right. Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
So I'm like, you're annoying. You're supposed to save me time and you're costing me. Okay. So I want to do a really quick, like, speed round through. I just want to show all of the options that Google has pre-made, right? So I've actually got a screenshot here on the screen. We've got the brainstormer. That's a huge one. Like, think like event names and fun, engaging ideas, creativity. Like, that's I just want to throw something out there and see what sticks. That's curated to literally help brainstorm with you. But you've also got the, career guide. The sentiment analyzer would be huge for those of you that record your meetings, utilizing that sentiment analyzer to see, or God forbid, like, think about like Proactivated with a sentiment analyzer, right? Like, that's what she's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a lot of what Mallory is doing at Proactivated, is helping to align that. Yeah, great.
Yeah, so like that for meetings, like not donor meetings, because those are a little bit different to record, but like, it's just super cool. Sales pitch ideator. So obviously in our world, it's not necessarily known as sales pitch, but think of it as like fundraising, right? So you take that, you copy it, and you adjust it to be more like a fundraising proposal ideator, and like help you define what the impact is going to be and how you can communicate that to this type of donor, benefactor, etc. Like, there's so many things. You got the writing editor, which I would say different than your copy creator would be if you got your first draft of like a grant ready. That would be a huge one to like toss in and be like, okay, give me some polish. What do I need? And then the other thing for writing editor, which would be really helpful for Mr. Tim Lockie, would be policy and manual cleanup.
Wait, why that? I'm curious. What do you mean?
You don't like writing policies. This one would help you so much better with like, let's make things consistent.
I don't like things I'm bad at, and like that's one of the areas where I just am like, oh my gosh, really? Yeah.
Okay. I want to sprint you through because it's so easy. I'm gonna turn it over to you. I want you to share your screen. I put the prompt on the screen, but I'm literally going to also put it in the LinkedIn comments right now. And this is all the instructions I want to give it. You could give it way more instruction, but I want it to quite literally be, you're going to help me write stories that make a difference.
Okay. Where do I find that
share
text?
Your screen?
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and share your screen first.
Okay.
And then
let me find where the screen share is. Just 1 second. I made this way bigger so I could show, or so I could read it. All right. There we go. Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Great.
All right. So what should we call it?
Okay. So remind me of the prompt here. What is it?
Yep. So it is, you are my nonprofit's impact story helper. I'm putting it in chat so you can see it as well. Impact story helper. You help me write 1-paragraph stories that show how our work makes a difference. Use a warm, clear, and mission-driven tone. Ask me for the program name, who helped it, and what changed as a result.
Got it.
So
all right.
Copy that right into the instructions there.
So just really quickly, I want to just highlight 2 things here.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 boxes that you can fill out here. One is the name. One is, so we'll just give this a name. What is this?
Impact story helper.
So because I watched way too much Phineas and Ferb, and I think,
oh yeah, you are.
Think of
You're good at the names.
Doofenshmirtz. Well, Doofenshmirtz just makes it easy, right? So everything's an innator. So like that's the first thing. So that's the name. Second is instructions. Instructions are where you tell it how it's going to behave, right? And so this is how, like, you're going to tell it where to look for things in the files you're going to give it. You're going to tell it, do these specific things. There's kind of a rollout for instructions where you want to think of it in terms of role, context, instructions, criteria, and maybe an example, right? So those 5 areas. And thanks AI Build Labs for all of that. You, me, and Dan have all worked with them. We love AI.
Yeah, we gotta get them on sometime.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they're incredible. Okay, so but the big cheat code I've not seen anywhere else is this guy right here. Use Gemini to rewrite instructions is like the best thing I've seen, because I'm lazy and I'll give it like a general direction, but then I'm like, no, just go do it. All right, exactly. So we'll come back to that in just a second, and then the last part is giving it content, right? So it's where you're giving it what it knows. And this is the simplest form of a retrieval augmented generation system. RAG models, if you've heard of those, basically think of it as it knows everything kind of generally, but nothing specifically. This is where you give it very specific things. So I've totally forgotten what we're doing in this prompt.
Let's try it without knowledge. Let's just try it without knowledge, like cool. The simplest version of it.
Story helper. Okay, great. All right. And the one other thing I'm going to do is tell it to, actually, this is great. I like what you've got. Okay. So
I tried to make it as simple as possible because that's how like my lazy would be doing. This is what I want.
Oh my gosh.
Because now look at that.
Yes. Right. All right.
Jeez.
All right. So, whoa, what happened there? Okay. All right. My magic mouse is dying, by the way. Okay, I'm going to add one other thing up here, which is we want it to be snarky, right?
Yeah. Just because we love our snark.
Snarky sounding and a bit edgy. Okay. All right. So let's redo that. And then I'm really curious now how it's going to adjust it.
I love that people get a C.
Did it do it? I'm not sure it did.
Go all the way to the top. Well,
yeah. Okay. All right. Let's try this. No. I'm just gonna add it. I'm just gonna add it at the end, right? So instead of warm, empathetic, and supportive.
Wait, scroll up a little bit. Instead of overall tone, right above overall tone. Okay, that's what I was wondering. Does it say?
Yeah. No, I don't think it did it.
It totally ignored you.
Yeah. No. Okay. But let's do this. Use a warm, clear. Okay. So it's getting mixed messages. So we want to use an a snarky and edgy tone, but make it respectful and mission driven. Oh my gosh, you know what? The this week I'm doing a training for Giving Tuesday, and they asked me for a blurb, and so I said in the blurb I was like I was like using the email helper thing, and I told it to like, we want to make this session about how you can avoid work, avoid humans, and phone it in with AI, right? And right, and Gemini came back and was like, even though it's amusing to think about how you could use it, we don't do it that way, and completely overrode everything that I was saying. So I'm kind of glad to see right here that it did actually just add that in. So, okay, we're going to do this. We've got this. I'm saving the Storyinator. All right, what kind of a story do we want to start with? Oh, one other thing, you can try it out here.
Yeah.
And you can also add your own files later on. So you don't have to add files in Knowledge. You can add files when you're working on it. Which
Knowledge would be a good one that would like every conversation would benefit from this knowledge, whereas conversational input knowledge would be this conversation would benefit from this knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. And Carlos, totally true. It was just being like reverse snarky, I think. So yeah, good catch there. If you're thinking about this like a template, think of the knowledge as the stuff that never changes, and the files that you add in the prompt as the things that change every time that you're going to do it. So
yes.
All right. What story do we want to tell?
Okay, so program. Let's do AI literacy cohort.
Write a story about a program literacy cohort.
AI literacy cohort.
Oh, yeah, right. AI literacy cohort program. I think program should be at the end there, right? I don't know. All right.
Sure. Your way, like I literally would have been program colon AI literacy cohort.
Yeah, that probably would have been the right way to do it.
Now I'm interested. It should ask for more context. There we go. Settle down, you do-gooder.
Oh, nice. This is great for spill the beans. Like, okay, right.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. So if you look in our chat, you could copy what I put in there. So the program is called the AI literacy cohort. Who it helped would be small nonprofit leadership teams. And then what changed? It helped them understand how to use AI responsibly and practically in their day-to-day work. So really simple.
Is this, oh, did you put this? Okay, you put the prompt.
I put that in like the one that you can see.
Yeah, I see. I got you. Thank you so much. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Gonna copy that in.
And paste.
All right.
I'm so intrigued now.
I know. Yeah. Here, let's
I'm gonna make it
a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
And I'm gonna maximize it on our screen so we can see it.
Actually, you know what? We should just go do this in the regular thing, because then it'll just show on the whole screen.
That's all right. We're already running over time. Let's just look at it.
Oh, we are? How? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Wait, okay, I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna add your prompt here. I want everybody to be able to see it. There we go.
All right. So you've got this thingamajig.
Okay, what are the juicy details?
These are that's all I've got. Details. Yeah.
Those are the deets. Go for it. All right. What was the picture before? Okay, this is one of my.
Okay, I appreciate that it's doing this, but I'm like, this is not fun.
This is what I do all the time. Make it up, like all the time, because I do so much work that's just like theoretical and is not grounded in anything that's real. So after a little intervention, bam! Suddenly they're automating these soul-crushing data tasks. Yeah. Okay. So if we had
more impact. Oh, I love that.
All right. Now check this out. What the next thing I would do is prep this in a table for mail merge import. All right. All right.
Table for mail merge, you say?
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Dark.
I know, like, yeah, no. Break out all the fields and create smart elements for email blast.
Huh.
I don't know if it'll do it or not, by the way.
Oh, you want to get fancy now.
There we go. Great. All right, cool. Now throw this in a table.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun.
Yet another table.
Oh, it's going to give you trash table output. This is what it did to me yesterday.
Oh, is it?
Now
Is it? This is what it did?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Like, I think it'll just spin for a while.
All right. Let's stop it then. And then just do it. But be quick about it. My good man. All right. There we go. There we go.
All right. There we go.
So if it hangs like that, tell it to stop and rethink because it's probably like stuck
somewhere. Yeah, that's really cool. Actually, I haven't seen it like that.
Yeah. Export to sheets. It's really good at knowing which parts of things are fields. And if you know which parts of things are fields, then you can get them to like move it into a CSV and then import it. So, all right.
All right.
This is cool. I like this. I would make.
Yeah. Did you have fun?
I would do this. The other thing I would do is I would probably make like a Gen Z version of this just to see like if you have it do Gen Z snark. Is it different than millennial snark or boomer snark? Yes. Like that would be kind of fun. So anyway.
Notice that you skip Gen X because
everybody skips Gen X.
They're not interesting.
We are the most interesting. Nobody messes with us.
I actually had a commitment. There's a chance I start all of these off with like an AI curated dad joke every time, just for your benefit now.
Please
so
do.
I'll just make our our little dad joke. Maybe we'll just start it with like sharing our screen and dad joke gem. Like
I love it. I think that's awesome.
Gosh.
Okay, so gems. These are so powerful. What you can do with these, the amount of time you can save, all of this is just a really good way. And also, by the way, free. Yeah. If you're nonprofits using Google, everything you saw us do is included in what you're already using it for. It's just part of the workspace. You just have to turn it on.
That's it.
So, yeah.
Okay. So like I said, we always get carried away, which is the best thing. So I want to wrap it up. As always, I want to give a nice shout out to sort of where we continue to do this work at in a little more advanced level with the AI Upskillerator. So on your screen, you can see a QR code to scan that. That's really just, it's after this every Wednesday. We hang out, we learn new things. And I think today we owe Tim like a video that we're gonna learn how to edit in Mass and Descript or something like that. So I gotta make sure I have a video for him.
I've got your video. I've got a video for you. You're
beautiful.
Like, yeah, you're good to go.
This is great. See, I'm good. Yeah. No, it's super fun. And it's basically just like what we're doing here, but we do the work together. And we kind of explore together. It's so much fun. We've like, I just have a great time and I've actually made a lot of really great like contacts from it. So definitely check it out if you have the time and the want. It's only like a couple $100 for the entire year too. Like that's the other thing that's wild to me is that it really doesn't take much to get in and do it. And we just hang out every Wednesday. So super fun. Hope to see you all there.
One of the things I've found that is surprising to me is if you like doing this stuff, then you're going to find your tribe, right? And I feel like that's actually one of the real benefits of it. So yeah.
Yes.
Would love to see people there.
And then I don't know how to do the screens as well as Tim does. So up in the corner, I was able to do a little itty bitty version for fundraising AI. And there are that summit's coming up. They just opened up registration for that it's in September. It's a completely free event, all online, all virtual, and all things fundraising and AI. So definitely check that out if you can. And, you know, Tim, myself, plenty of the human stack representation there amongst, you know, we're amongst some great shoulders when we're at those tables. So
absolutely. Amazing.
Definitely check it out. So
for sure.
Anything else before we take off here, Tim?
Props on like digging in and like, I really love what you're doing with Gemini and Restream. Like you're mastering Restream and like definitely taking next level. So thanks for doing that. And those of you that are following along, thanks. We are having so much fun making these, and you can find them in our YouTube channel as well. So if you missed a week, they're going to be in our YouTube channel. Would love to have you go check those out. Send your team to them. We really want to get more of this information out there. So
and let us know what you guys want us to see. Yeah. Exactly. What do you want us to do? Clearly we're learning as we go. So
yeah.
What should we learn next? Awesome.
right.
All